Tubers, tubettes, and of course crazy people. Hey, I want to take just a quick second and I want to thank all the people that have subscribed recently to the channel. And I just want to welcome you to the Old Dog family. And a big shout out, of course, to all those folks that have been with me possibly since day one. Okay, what is this video about? This video is about getting a hair transplant. Something I'm actually pretty excited about talking about. Because in this video, my friend Nathan is going to walk us through the steps from the very beginning all the way to the end and show everything in the middle as to what's entailed to get the hair transplant. And I guarantee you it's a lot more inclusive than anything you'll see in any brochure or TV commercial. You're going to get to hear about the good, the bad, and the ugly of this procedure. So hang in there, meet my friend Nathan, and I'll see you in the video. All right, here we go. Alrighty kids, as I said in the little introduction, I am here with my friend Nathan. And Nathan, why don't you introduce yourself, name, age, rank, serial number, all that good stuff?
Yes, my name is Nathan Taylor. I'm 44 years old and I'm from the U.S., Charleston, West Virginia.
And you're living here full-time now in the Philippines?
Yes, as of now I'm trying to move to Dumaguete from Mindanao, and okay. I look forward to it.
Awesome. And we're going to talk to you about something I have never, ever approached on the channel before, which has got me pumped because it had never occurred to me. And you and I have met, I think this is our third meeting. We met like 6 months ago or something like that?
In October, yes.
In October. And then we just bumped into each other a week or 8 days ago.
That is correct, yep.
And then we met up today. We scheduled to meet today.
Actually,
but the
yesterday.
First two, yesterday. But the first two was coincidence. They were just came out of nowhere, right?
That is correct.
Okay. And so I want you to just go like this with your head for a second. All right, like that. So when I first met Nathan, the first thing I thought of was ZZ Top, you know, because he's got the beard. And then go like that again. And then he didn't look like this when I met him before. And when I saw this, I thought, Winchell Mahoney. I don't know if you guys know who Winchell Mahoney is. You have to be pretty old to remember him. But anyway, he had a hair transplant. And so I just never ever thought of the Philippines as a destination to get any kind of medical or cosmetic procedures done. But you did it, and I got to thinking, you know what, there might be guys that are coming over here, and while they're here, maybe they're going to move here, maybe they're going to visit, maybe that would be something they would be interested in. So I asked Nathan, would you be kind enough to come on the channel and talk about how it went and what it was and how much it cost? And he graciously agreed to do so. So thank you for that, Nathan.
You're very welcome.
Let's take it from step one. Number one, I saw you with just the beard and head of hair, but you had some bald spots in the front, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so those were, that was bothering you. You didn't like the way that looked.
Yes.
Okay. And I think that, you know, just so you guys are in tune a little bit, and we won't belabor it, but this gentleman is 100% disabled through the VA. You were involved in an IED, is that what it's called?
Yes, sir.
Okay. He was in the back of a Humvee and was put into a subconscious state. What's it called?
Induced coma.
Induced coma for 13 days. You were almost pronounced dead, I believe.
Dead twice.
Dead twice. And he is a hero. But he won't ever tell you that, but I will. And that happened when he was in the ripe old age of what, about 20-something?
23 years old.
23, enlisted at 18. You had a year to go until that incident happened.
I was getting out, July 3rd of 2003 is when it happened, and I was due to get out of the military April 12th of 2004.
And it took you about a year to get to the point to where you could even walk and talk and chew gum, right?
That is correct, yeah.
Okay, so He has the physical injuries. We're not going to belabor it. We might do another video if you guys ask us to. It's up to you guys what you want us to do. Fascinating story. So here we are 20 years later, and 2 marriages that went sideways.
Oh yeah.
And now you're over here, and you've been with your Filipina how long?
I've been living with her for 6 months now. Been talking in total of 1 year.
Okay.
February 21st was our 1 year anniversary.
And I'll tell you guys that she is absolutely adorable. She's being interviewed with my wife over there behind the building. And I'm just so happy for Nathan, and I'm happy for her, because they are both just stand-up people. But let's get back to the hair transplant. So you decided to get a hair transplant. You went to Cebu to have that done.
Yes.
What's the first thing they do when they do your hair transplant?
Well, the first thing they do a interview on the phone, a video chat with you to go over to see how many, to see if you're eligible anyways to get it done. And then once they find out that you're eligible, then they will tell you how many transplants that it will take.
Okay.
Anywhere from 2,000 to 3,500
okay.
transplants. So I was told it would take 2,500 to get mine done.
And was that the real number?
The real number ended up coming out to be 2,600 at the end.
So just a few more.
Yeah, due to the fact that not only did I get my front done, I got the crown of my head done. So the front in total was 2,100, and then the crown was 500.
Okay. And so now you've done the interview, you go into the office, it's the day of the procedure, they've got you on the table. What do they do first?
Well, before they even sit you down to start working on you, they consult with you, and they start drawing the patterns on your head of different patterns of hairlines that you would like. And then once you figure out the pattern that you like, then they take you in, sit you down, they shave your head, and after they shave your head, they start drawing so that the nurses and doctors both can agree on where your donor area is, and then where your implant area is.
Okay. And where is the donor area?
The donor area is on the sides in the very back of you can't really see it right now because it's already healed up.
Yeah.
But they do such a good, fine job that it heals up in a couple of days.
It's healed. Take my word for it. You can't say anything.
Yeah, it's pretty much done. So and then after that they marked locations, 8 locations on the rear of your head. I'm sorry, 9 locations, and then 9 locations across your brow and temples to inject anesthesia.
All right, so the next step is anesthesia. They've
Yes.
got you marked up. They know where they're going to put the plugs. They know where they're going to gather the follicles from.
Yes.
And now it's time to numb you up. What's that like?
That's the whole funnest part of the procedure is the numbing. It is. There's nothing like it. It's so intense that the rest of the procedure is like baking a cake.
So the needle's going in to numb you up. Did they hurt?
It's like you have lightning shooting through your brain.
God.
You get.
They don't tell you that in the commercials.
They don't tell you that. No, of course not. They wait till you sit down and say, oh, by the way, hang on for this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And then
So it really hurt bad.
In total, I had over 50 anesthesia shots.
And each one was as painful as the last.
The ones that hurt the most was the eyebrows.
Oh my God.
And the bottom of the neck. The rest of them up top weren't so bad because you were already numb by that point. You didn't mind it at all.
Okay.
So
they've done that. How long did that take? Was it an hour, a half hour, 5 minutes? I don't know.
After the anesthesia?
No, to put the anesthesia in.
So after the anesthesia was set in, they immediately started making holes in my head to allow for the implants to go in.
Okay, but when they were doing the anesthesia and they were shooting you with the shots, How many, did it take 30 minutes to get you numbed up, or an hour?
It takes less than 30 seconds.
Each shot?
Oh, as soon as the first one goes in, you start getting numb.
Okay.
So they just keep pumping you full of anesthesia, because it's a total of 10 hours it took. So they want to make sure you're numb and you're not going to feel anything.
All right. So now next move, no, so they got you numbed up, and now I'm going to assume they start harvesting.
The first thing they do is called passage, which means they have to make a hole. They had to make 2,600 holes in my head, my scalp, before they even started harvesting. So the passage is done first by the doctor. Took 3 hours to get done. And then after that, a little break, and then...
No, let's go back up a little bit. Do they just drill around the hair? Is that what it's done? Is it?
Well, for the passage, it's just basically, most people understand what a hole punch is. They hole punch your scalp and put a whole bunch of tiny holes into your head.
Now, is that to implant, or is that to take out?
That's just for the implants to have a bed to go into.
Okay, so this area here, they start doing the hole punch deal.
Yeah.
On there, bang, bang, bang. This is where we're going to be putting these puppies. So they don't harvest first, they make the holes. They make
the holes first.
Got it.
So then so that the harvesting process, because the harvesting process takes a little bit longer, and as soon as they harvest, they start implanting.
And I got to back up because I already forgot. I know you told me.
That's okay.
But it took how long to do the holes?
It took 3 hours.
3 hours, and you got a potty break.
You get a potty break.
All right. And your head's numb. You got these holes in there.
Super numb.
You go get a little potty break, and then you come back, and then they do the harvesting. What's the harvesting process like?
Yeah, as soon as you start that, you got to lay on your stomach, which I hate.
Ugh.
Yep, and your head's tilted back. You're laying on a table, face down through a hole, so your nose and mouth is breathing through a hole, and you're not being suffocated. However, you feel like you're in a torture device.
Is it kind of like a chiropractic chair?
Yes, absolutely,
okay.
Same thing.
All right, so I got a visual on that.
Once that process starts, there's a whole lot of wiggling going on because you're uncomfortable the whole time, and when now they're harvesting, and when they're doing it, you got two nurses on either side of your head harvesting the hair follicles.
And how do they get those puppies out of there?
Also, it's like a hole punch that punches around each hair follicle. It punches around the hair follicle, and then the nurses take tweezers and pull that hair follicle out.
Okay.
And give it to another nurse, and then that nurse sticks it into the passageways.
Now, don't they put it into some sort of a liquid substance first?
They do. If they get behind, if the nurse gets behind, then that's when because you can't let those harvests dry up, because then your DNA will be inactive.
Understood.
So yeah, they have to. I don't know what the ingredients is in that fluid, but it's pink. I don't know medical terms.
I don't know.
But it's something that keeps your hair follicles alive.
Okay, cool. So now the harvesting process they're one's harvesting and one's sticking them in?
There's two harvesting.
Yeah.
In one, it's called sewing. So once they actually do the implants, that nurse is sewing, just like you would planting plants.
Okay.
You know, you sow your seeds. So you're sowing the follicles.
Okay.
And then that procedure took roughly 3 hours to do.
Okay.
Just harvesting alone.
Just the harvesting.
So another 3 hours of uncomfortable positions.
And what hour are we on now so far? You've been there 3 hours, you took a potty break, you're 3 hours in.
Probably 6.5 hours total so far.
6.5 hours. Mm-hmm. Now, have they got them all harvested?
Yes.
And most of them that are left over in this liquid, this pink liquid.
Yes, that is
correct.
correct.
And then you have one lady putting them into your noggin, or do other ladies join in?
Yes, at this point in time, right after the harvesting gets done, after I can sit up and take another potty break for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Then I can go back in and sit in the chair.
Okay.
And be a little bit more comfortable. While I have, I think at this time, 3 nurses sewing. I have 3 nurses sewing. I got my crown here. I got a nurse sewing back here. Then I got 2 nurses sewing all of these in.
Now these people feel, I get the vibe that these people knew what they were doing.
Oh, these people are...
and I'm not going to name the clinic because I don't want to promote it. You know what I mean? That's not why we're here. But
I would trust my life on these people.
Okay.
They're absolutely so kind and so caring and so patient with an inpatient person. Because I say inpatient because I felt like I was wiggling around so much because I was so uncomfortable. But they dealt with me, and I appreciate that a lot.
all right. So how long were you in the chair while they finished up the process?
So I was in the chair at this point in time, probably a total of another 3 more hours.
Wow.
Yep. Whole procedure start to finish, including potty breaks, 10 hours. 10 hours start to finish.
Good Lord.
So each session was 3 hours, 3 hours, and 3 hours.
Okay. Did you guys get a lunch break or anything?
Yeah, after the harvest was done, we did. We took a little potty break and grabbed a piece of chicken and some rice.
And the ladies got to eat, I hope.
We all ate, got some energy back, and went back at it. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting to me as I visualize this story, I'm feeling more sorry for the ladies working than you.
Absolutely. I was feeling her pain. I
thought, what a horrible job.
Yeah.
You know, pick this thing out. Because I'm not a detail-oriented guy at all, so this would make me nuts. And then they got to put them right in. And they're standing on their feet the whole time, right?
Oh, they were standing and sitting.
Oh my God, are they wearing special goggles or glasses?
Yes. They were wearing the special glasses with, the 3 spotlights on their face so they could see. Because, it's, such detail work. And, I wouldn't want to have their job either. I'm a very attention to detail person, but that's a little bit much for me.
Got it.
Hands down, great job they done, and much respect.
All right, let's get into the cost. This is what's, I think, very interesting because this is kind of like medical tourism. I associate medical tourism, facelifts and nose jobs,
veneers
and
eye
breast
surgery,
augmentation. And all. I associate that more with Thailand because they just have that reputation of being state of the art and everything.
Yes.
It never occurred to me about the Philippines. But I may have said it already, I may not have. I'm old and I forget easily. But I think that for simple stuff, veneers, I know for a fact out here, guys are really happy with it and with the pricing. I think with something like this, that doesn't involve a lot of, something like a facelift can really go wrong. But this, I don't see where the air factor would play in. But that being said, how much did it cost?
Yeah, the air factor, I'll touch on that real quick.
Please
The
do.
air factor would have to be due to the patient.
Okay.
Me bumping my head on the corridor, getting in and out, me scratching my head on accident, ripping. Other than that, yeah, it's just a straightforward procedure. It would just have to be me screwing it up. As far as the cost goes, this is shocking. I always wanted it done in America. Dreamed of it. Could never, ever fathom affording $20,000 to $25,000 to get it done.
That's what it would cost in America. And you checked it out, you researched it while you were there?
Yeah, and I thought it was fantasy land, actually. I never thought this stuff really existed until I started researching, but the price was so astronomical that it could never fit into my budget. Not unless you're like most Americans, have a credit card bill, be in debt for 10 years or what have you.
Yeah.
But yeah, here in the Philippines, I was a little hesitant at first. I wasn't even researching to get it done here. It just so happened to come up on a Facebook feed, and the price was right there as soon as you clicked on it, and my jaw just dropped. I was like, my dream is obtainable now.
Cool.
I can actually feel more confident if I get this done. I will be feeling much youthful, being happier, the whole 9. The price here in the Philippines cost me in American dollars. It's $4,727. And that comes out to be 260,000 peso.
Start to finish. Consultation.
Start to finish. Consultation, nurses, doctor, the whole 9. Even your chicken and rice meal.
Got it. So let's just call it $5,000 because I like round numbers.
Yeah.
And in America, how much would that cost?
Yeah, so you're paying a quarter.
25.
One
25K.
20,000 to 25,000, you know, to get 2,600 implants done. Now it's cheaper. You can get implants done in America for much cheaper. Well, for 10,000, but you're not going to get as many implants done.
So it's based on the number of plugs that they do.
That is correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
10,000, 15, 20, 25, 30.
I think they're called grafts. How many?
Grafts?
Yeah.
Okay.
How many grafts? But here in the Philippines, I think you start out at 250,000 peso, which is let's say 4,500 American dollars.
Right.
Very, very feasible. Not cheap, but feasible.
Got it. It's one of those things that if you've got the money, like you said, you know, you think of, I at least think of cosmetic surgeries for the rich and famous. You know,
Absolutely.
There's so much money. Like a full-on facelift is probably $30,000, $40,000. God knows I could use one. But
we all.
You know, I got needs and wants, and wanting it's one thing, needing it's another. You guys might think I need one, but I know what my priorities are. Anyway, what's the post-op on that? I mean, are you bleeding a lot, or do they wrap you up in bandages? Does it hurt after the anesthesia wears off? What's the deal?
So your head is really swollen from all of the anesthesia and from the work itself. So after the work is done, your donor area is what's bleeding the worst. So they wrap your head, they put a band around your head, and that has to stay on your head for days 0, 1, and 2. So basically 3 days. 3 days, the bandage has to stay on your head. And then after that comes off, then your donor area will just heal on its own. You don't have to do any maintenance to that. Just let the scabs fall out, which are very micro scabs. Your implant area can only be washed with water in a cup, and you just lightly pour water on your head, and then you put baby shampoo, mix it up real good, pour it on your head, leave it on for 3 to 4 minutes, let it soak in, and then after it's soaked in, wash it out. This process lasts up to 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, then you're allowed to use the palm of your hand to lightly scrub your procedure area. And then once that's done, see here, 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, you are allowed to actually get a haircut at that point in time. And that's it. So basically your first 2 to 4 weeks is your most precautionary period. You want to be very, very, very serious about your procedure and not screw it up, because it's all on you.
So if you rubbed your head right now, you'd screw it up.
Oh, probably so. Okay. I mean, they may not fall out, but I don't want to take a chance.
No. You leave it alone. Let the body do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, let it heal.
And does it itch? Does it bother you? Do you want to scratch it? I mean, does it might be nuts?
It feels. Here's the thing: you don't want to be out in the sun either during your first 2 weeks, because it could damage it. And not only that, yes, it feels like you have lice. You feel like you have ants. Ooh. Constantly crawling in your head, because it's your anesthesia wearing off, and it's your body actually accepting the new hair follicles. I'm sure each person's different. It's just, it can drive you crazy. It can make you not sleep. Oh, and another thing I got to touch on too, you got to sleep with a neck pillow for the first 2 weeks. You cannot lay on your side. You can only because you could accidentally touch your head onto the pillow and damage the implant area. So you have to be very, very cautious of that.
Okay. How long has it been since you've had this procedure?
As of today, the procedure was done on the 6th. Yeah, 6th of March. So it's been 6 days. 6 days since the procedure.
Is your head still itchy?
Yeah, it's itchy. It's pretty itchy. It's starting, all of this, if people are wondering what all this blackness is, that blackness is just basically scabs.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not like a dye or anything they put in there?
I thought it was. I think I told you that. It's partially dye, but also it's the the passageway where the hair follicles went in, they're getting a little crispy per se. Yeah, which
so
is normal.
You're what, 6 days in? Is that what you said?
6 days in.
And at 14, you can actually like scrub it and touch it. Is that correct?
At 14 days, you can actually use the palm of your hand to lightly wash it.
So you're looking forward to 8 days from now, aren't you?
Yeah. So yeah, because by then, at least day 8 through day 8 through 10, all the scabs should have fallen out by then, and the itchy should go away.
Okay. So this is cool because, you know, whenever they do usually when it comes to cosmetic surgery, they always tell you, they sugarcoat it a lot, I think. You know what I mean? They don't just come out front and say, hey, by the way.
Put the big old spread of butter on there.
Unless you ask questions. But they didn't tell you how painful it was going to be when they injected you with that anesthesia. They didn't tell you that you're going to feel like you got ants running on your head for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They'd probably lose a lot of clients if they did that.
I would say they would lose 90+% of their clients if they told them the truth right off the bat, because, I mean, my blood pressure was 160/80 when I was in the chair.
Yeah.
They thought I was going to have a heart attack. You know, I could, yeah.
So
it wasn't going to turn me away. It was not going to deter me, because I already, you know, once I had my mindset, you have to look at the end to endure the pain. The pain's just a very small part of the process.
Right.
And once you can get that through your head and just suck it up for a couple of days, I mean, you're fine. You'll be
One
fine.
last question.
Yes.
I heard, and you tell me if this is true or not, that all these follicles that they implant fall out.
Yeah, for the majority of the people, after 30 to 40 days, the donor area, or not the donor area, the implant area will shed, because it's just like the rest of your hair. Your hair goes through shedding cycles, dormant cycles, and regrowth cycles, which I didn't know about either.
Yeah.
So they say after 30 days, the doctors say after 30 days, you'll go through the ugly duckling phase, which you will shed your hair, and
so it's going to look just like it did before. Like your hair is going to start to grow out, and then the bald spot's going to reappear.
It'll kind of look like that.
Yeah.
However, you will see a shadow. There will still be a shadow because all your hair won't fall out at once. You will still see the outline of your hair, the new outline. It's not like it completely 100% disappears, but as they call it, the ugly duckling syndrome, which people will start feeling bad about themselves because they'll feel like they made a wrong mistake, yada yada yada. Just gotta let the procedure play its process, and then 2, 3, 4 months later, you should start seeing great hair growth. By 6 months guaranteed, you won't even recognize yourself.
It's in 6 months. I thought it was a year, but you say in 6 months, probably because of the new procedures. In 6 months, you're going to have your new head of hair. Right?
Oh yeah, by 6 months you will have completely a full head of hair.
Wow.
Yep.
And the ugly duckling stage lasts how long? A month, you say?
It can last anywhere from a month up to 2 or 3 months. Just depends. Everybody's different.
Is it okay for you to wear like a baseball cap or something during that period, or do they recommend not to?
After your first 30 days are up, you can wear a cap if you want to, but I'm not a baseball cap person. But if you want to,
I'm not either.
If you want to rock a baseball cap, then go ahead. But I don't suggest it. I suggest allowing your hair to breathe. Let it naturally breathe. Don't cut no blood off to it. If anything, massage your hair.
Right.
Massage your head to get that blood flow going.
And kind of stay out of the sun.
Yeah, as much as possible.
Okay.
Don't let the direct sun beam on your head.
So this is cool. We've got some pictures of him, and we're going to do our best to inject it into the video. If it doesn't work, we'll put it in at the end. We'll see how it goes. But that's it. If nothing else, I want to have you back on the channel because he's got a fascinating backstory about his time in Iraq and what brought him to the Philippines and how he met his girl and what he's doing now and where he's going to live. But you can only do so much in one video. So, you know what I mean? Will you be kind enough to come back on the channel at some point in time?
Paul, would be my pleasure.
And we can hear about your backstory.
Absolutely.
I mean, we really do appreciate you. I mean, this is a gentleman.
Don't make me cry.
God, you're making it's making me cry. Is that, you know, at the age of 18 enlist, gets his ass blown up in Iraq, is in a coma an induced coma for 13 days, died twice, came back, and then has experienced some hell on earth even after that. So you've had a lot of life of pain. I don't want to be a bummer here at the end, but what are you experiencing now with your woman?
I would rather people know.
Real quick. Cool. Real quick. What are you experiencing here in the Philippines? Little sleepy Dumaguete for now with your woman. How do you feel?
The only way, the best way I can describe it is the Philippines is 180 degrees polar opposite than America.
Okay. All right, we'll leave it at that.
It's too much to explain right now.
It really is.
But the women here, it's very true about the women here. They're very caring. They absolutely are kind, compassionate, thoughtful. They will do anything and everything for you. And most of the people that I've met will never ask anything from you. If they're asking something from you, then yeah, you gotta.
There's good and bad in all groups.
There you go. But I want to say,
you gotta kiss a few frogs before you find your princess, you know. But that's another story for another video, another time. I want to thank you so much. It's been such an honor and a privilege to meet you, to know you, to become your friend, I hope, and to have had you on the channel. And we are looking forward to, I'd like to hear it in the comments. Are you guys interested in hearing his backstory? Again, 44 years old, disabled vet. You do have PTSD. We'll get into all that kind of stuff, but he's as normal as a nickel as far as I can tell. I would have no idea that he's got, I think he's just a man that has a lot of spiritual, you rely on your spirituality quite a bit, and you're always looking for peace. This is a guy that if had a reason to complain, would be one, and doesn't do it. He chooses to go the other way. And so I could go on for an hour. I won't do it. I just want to thank you guys for joining us today. Nathan, again, hats off to you.
Thank you,
and
Paul.
we will bring you back, and we'll have you back in 6 months when you got your full head of hair too.
Yeah. Hey, I look forward to doing any video with you. It's great.
Thanks for watching, kids. We'll see you in the next video.